My name is, well, it doesn't really matter what my name is. I'm probably not someone you want to remember anyways. But I suppose I should tell you as little as you need to know about me. I grew up in the ghettos of a little place called Detroit, Michigan. Dad took off when I was a kid, and Mom's worked 2 jobs and wasn't around much. My older brother was a gangbanger from the age of 15. I hung around with him and his boys a lot, and soon I was running with the crew too. I don't think you understand that we just did what we had to so that we could survive. Listen, I paid my mom's bills with the money I got from slinging dope. If a person disrespected us, well, they learned the hard way that stepping up to us meant that your face was about to get acquainted with the concrete. I felt like I was on top of the world. I got myself a sweet ride, and then one day, me and my brother, we're down in Missouri, right? We're picking up some stuff for a guy we know when we get busted by 5-0. They tried us down there, and we were sentenced to 12 years in prison for trafficking drugs. In prison, I stuck with my brother, and we joined one of the gangs in there for protection. It was rough, man. The food sucked. And any kind of contraband could land you in solitary. And the guys were always looking to pick fights. Plus, we always had to go to these little meetings where a preacher would come in all dressed up in a suit and tie and talk to us. But all most of them did was beat me over the head with a Bible. And it felt horrible, man. If God didn't want anything to do with me, then I sure enough didn't want anything to do with him. Then one day a pastor came into that little room. I saw a few of the guys roll their eyes, but there was something different about this pastor. He didn't wear a suit like the others. He was wearing jeans and a t-shirt, and he looked, well, ordinary. Then he started talking to us, and he didn't launch into a sermon or start praying over us. He was just shooting the breeze, asking us about our families and what we usually do and that kind of stuff. Then he asked us what we wanted to do with our lives when we got out. My brother asked him, man, what you want to know about that for? You're a pastor. You're all holy and saved and looking down on us just because we got to be fighting to survive. It ain't your business what I'm going to do when I get out of here, man. So just do your little, you're going to go to hell thing if you don't repent mantra and dip. But I didn't want the pastor to leave. Leave him alone, man. With all the stuff we've done, we deserve to have people look down on us, man. But this man, he's trying to listen to us. He actually cares, so back off, bro. My brother was vexed. The other guys thought I was nuts. But the pastor looked at me and smiled. It was the first time anyone ever smiled at me like that. Like I was a human being. Even though he knew all the horrible stuff I'd done in my past, then he went on to talk about God's forgiveness and his love for us. I couldn't believe that anyone could love me like that. In spite of everything I'd done, an all-powerful being still wanted to be around me. I always grew up thinking that for God to be around you, you had to be perfect. But what I didn't know was that for God to be around you, you have to realize that you're not perfect. When the session was over, I waited until the other prisoners had left before I approached the pastor. I don't know why, but I just started telling him everything. And I started bawling. Now you can't tell nobody that because men don't cry, you heard? Let alone bawl like babies. But anyways, I'm sitting there and I'm crying and I'm telling the pastor about my life. And I asked him why he wasn't judging me like everyone else. He told me that's not my place. God's the only one who can do that. Then he asked if he could pray with me. I said yes. And he prayed with me for about 15 minutes before the guards came. I asked the pastor to keep praying for me, and he said that he would. Then they took me back to my cell. A few weeks later, I ended up getting stabbed with a shank someone had made during a prison fight. I wasn't even in the fight. I had gone in to break it up. They took me to the hospital, but the wound was pretty bad, and the doctors couldn't do much to save me. As I lay there on that bed, weak, I can barely stay awake. My brother sitting shackled to my chair at my bedside. I sent up a silent prayer to God. It was simple. All I said was, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And then I was gone. I just want to ask you something. Could God ever use someone like me?